Now, we Brits love our fast food. We spend a staggering £6 billion every single year on takeaway. And we have more places than anywhere else in Europe serving it up.
Across the series, from curry to fish and chips, we'll be exploring our love affair with the takeaway.
This week, we want to know what makes Britain's best Chinese.
Give me chilies, please.
We'll be uncovering the secrets behind some of Britain's top takeaways.
You need to have fire, of course.
That is so hot.
I'll be discovering how Chinese food was first introduced to ordinary Britons.
Use chopsticks. It's easy. Or so they told the holidaymakers at a Clacton holiday camp.
I haven't been this stressed in a long time.
And we're inviting some award-winning chefs to a contest.
I am Shuttermoon.
To find out what makes the best Chinese takeaway.
It's a disaster.
Good team, we are good team.
It's the Battle of the Woks in the heart of London's Chinatown.
We're celebrating the real food that we eat and the people behind it.
Whether it's sweet and sour pork or steamed dumplings, Chinese is currently the UK's favourite takeaway, and we eat a staggering 8 million meals every week. So we've been searching the country to find out what makes the best.
We've found 3 of the finest Chinese takeaways in the UK to take part in a contest. They're all award-winning, but they're all very different.
Between the university spires of Oxford lies a little piece of China. Ahead of the contest, Michelin-starred chef Tom Kerridge is here to meet the first contender.
有的时候会故意讲大声一点，你不要介意哦。上电视了，快点！
George is head chef and owner of Shanghai 30s, which features in the Michelin Guide.
赶紧挖一个菠萝，它需要菠萝，一定要 perfect. A small piece of impurities, you gotta remove it. Why you only give me 2 pancakes? One more pancake, please.
George, definitely in control.
Make sure there's no small bones, yeah? Must check and double check, yeah? And must double check, okay?
Feels like an exciting, vibrant place.
Pancake, please.
George was raised in Taiwan, and his dishes are inspired by recipes from all over Asia.
All right. 2 more seconds to go, gentlemen.
OK, whilst the door's open, I'm going in.
But it's his attention to detail which really makes his food stand out.
What temperature are you looking for?
I'm still looking for 62.
But you're not far, you're 60.
Yeah, but I want to make sure. It's got to be consistent.
OK.
This is quality control. When it's not ready, it's not ready.
The secret to a perfect stir-fry is in precision, but also in the temperature it's cooked at.
To cook the food fast, you need to have fire, of course. But the thing is...
That noise. Like it's so immense, isn't it?
That's why the food always tastes better, because when you cook with high heat, you know, it's more tasty.
These turbo woks are standard in professional Chinese kitchens and can reach temperatures of 700 degrees Fahrenheit.
Let's try some noodles. In there?
This noodle?
Yeah. Put it in there. All of it, yeah. That's it. Well done, sir.
And then we move straight away?
That's it. Start stirring. That's it. You gotta be, yeah, quick or else it'll stick. And then what we're gonna do is a little bit of sesame seed oil.
That heat's so intense, it's so hot.
You're getting suntan already, sir.
Yeah.
No more need for holiday.
Straight away, that sesame oil, the sesame oil you can smell straight away.
And now when it's ready, you put it in. And now you have to be quick again. So it doesn't stick. If you're not quick, then it's gonna start sticking again.
The one thing that I'm just finding amazing is the intensity, the heat, the rapidness, how quick everything cooks.
George's obsession with cooking perfection is what he thinks makes his takeaway unique.
And that's it. And when she packed it, she put a little bit of decoration on it, and perfect.
Today I've been very impressed with George. He's very tight, very precise.
Okay, hot oil.
That level of consistency that George drives for Will he be able to keep it up when it comes to the contest?
What's this? The timing of the steam item is so crucial. And if customer complain, then I have to deal with it.
2/3 of Chinese takeaways in the UK serve dishes that originate from the Hong Kong region of China.
Hello, Sweet Mandarin. You want a Mabel's clay pot chicken? Okay.
Our second contenders have this Cantonese style of cooking down to a fine art.
Order. It's for John. Come right up.
Sweet Mandarin in Manchester is owned by twin sisters Helen and Lisa.
Oh, they're ready now.
Both their mother and grandmother before her owned Chinese takeaways.
Do you want a fried rice now? Right here.
But following in their footsteps was never the plan.
I was working in London as a lawyer. Lisa was in finance. And to the horror of our parents, we gave up those high-flying careers in London to open up Sweet Mandarin. Thanks, Lisa. So, funny enough, we actually followed in our family's footsteps and became the third generation to be women restaurateurs. Thank you. Enjoy your dinner.
See you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.
When your destiny is created for you, you just follow that path.
With just a few weeks to go before the contest, Tom wants to find out what they think makes their takeaway special.
Hey, Tom.
How we doing? Talk me through what's going on, what's happening. This is
Welcome
quite
to the
exciting
kitchen.
for me.
This is where the magic happens.
So talk me through the style of food that you cook here.
We're from the Guangzhou and the Hong Kong region, so we are Cantonese
Yeah.
cooking.
It's the Hong Kong Cantonese style of classic dishes that here in the UK we're most familiar with.
They're family recipes, isn't it? They are family recipes, yes.
Right, okay.
These are
So
the sauces, they're passed down from our grandmother to our mother to us.
so it's all Cantonese cooking.
Yes.
Look, what are you going to show me? What are we going to get cooking?
The twins believe their food is the best because their dishes have been perfected over 3 generations.
Secret salt and pepper mix.
Yes.
What's in the salt and pepper mix?
I can't tell you.
Okay, still a secret. Okay.
Sweet and sour chicken is one of the most popular dishes.
Sweet and sour is a bestseller across the UK. It's a classic example of a Chinese recipe that's been adapted for British tastes.
In Chinese cooking, there are 5 main flavours. There's sweet, sour, spicy, savoury and bitter, okay? Now this classic flavour is based on the 2 main flavours of Chinese cooking, which is sour and sweet.
Our British version is sweeter than the Cantonese original and often uses chicken instead of pork, the Chinese meat of choice.
So much of this cooking is very quick, very fast.
The secret is the preparation, Tom. That's in my sweet and sour chicken, the best one you'll ever taste. There you go. There.
The twins' cooking is classic British Chinese takeaway. It's Chinese food that, like most takeaways here, is adapted to our palates. It's done to a very high standard. But is it enough for them to win the contest?
From crunchy stir-fries to crispy aromatic duck, today Chinese takeaway is available in every corner of the UK, with 10,000 places serving it up. And we have an unlikely invention to thank for that. The washing machine. Believe it or not, this helped the spread of your local Chinese. The first Chinese immigrants were sailors, working on ships importing goods to Britain from Hong Kong and Shanghai. During the 19th and early 20th century, some of the sailors settled in Britain and found jobs in the laundry business. But in the 1950s, that all changed.
It's the new English Electric Liberator, the dial of fabric washing machine that outdates all others.
Automatic home washing machines sent traditional Chinese laundries out of business. So it was out of necessity that Chinese laundry owners converted their businesses into small cafes and then takeaways instead. Cooking became an ideal introduction to British life for the next wave of Chinese immigrants arriving from the colony of Hong Kong. They were invited as members of the Commonwealth to help rebuild Britain after the war. But what was on the menu then was very different from today, and their Hong Kong Cantonese recipes were too exotic for most Brits at that time.
In the 1950s, to serve Chinese food would have been completely outlandish. People would never have heard of it, would have never experienced something like sweet and sour pork, chicken chow mein. This would be off the radar for most people.
Food historian Polly Russell has unearthed a typical Chinese menu from 1958. I'm seeing a lot of chips. Steak and chips, ham and chips, omelette and chips. There's a lot of kind of authentic British food.
They served typically British dishes and a few Chinese dishes.
So this is a beginner's guide to Chinese food. Should you be feeling adventurous, you can veer into the sweet and sour pork.
That's exactly right. This sort of menu slowly introduces people to new tastes, to think about possibly venturing outside of their comfort zone.
Since the 50s, we have become much more experimental in our eating habits.
Yes, give me chilies, please.
Tom has come to meet the final contender in our contest, who is pushing the boundaries of Chinese takeaway here in the UK.
Thank you. Omelette. Give me fish, sea bass.
Wong's opened in Bristol 4 years ago.
Is it already?
And owner Annie is uncompromising when it comes to ingredients.
We got a squid, and we got a bean curd, and a wood mushroom.
She sources authentic, home-cooked recipes from across China, and nothing is adapted for British tastes.
That's a beef stomach. It's like a cow stomach. Nice.
Hey, Annie.
Hey.
Hey, how are you? Nice to see you.
I'm fine.
So the food that you do for takeaway, the same as you do in the restaurant, what's your philosophy? What's your outlook?
In England, this one, you can't find another restaurant. Traditional Chinese food is like a family food.
So if you expect your normal takeaway, like sweet and sour chicken ball or something that is normal, that everyone every day is standard, you don't do that.
No, do that.
You do authentic, proper, homely, wonderful food.
Yes!
Annie's already won a prestigious Legacy of Taste Award, the industry's gold standard for Chinese cooking.
Star anise.
Yeah.
Straight away, those smells of the star anise, the garlic, the ginger.
Yeah.
These mushrooms, you've brought these back from China.
Yeah, we don't need it too much.
So this is really authentic, really home-style cooking.
Yes.
Yeah. Glass noodle. Some boiling quite rapidly.
Pepper. Nice.
Her dishes depend not only on exotic Chinese ingredients, but the freshest local produce too.
Now it's ready.
Smells fantastic. And it's very authentic looking. It looks really great. And then those lovely looking, very interesting dried mushrooms. It's definitely not like Chinese food that I've seen before. I'm really excited by Annie's cooking. It's authentic Chinese, and it's something that I suppose in the UK that we're not used to. And pitched up against those more familiar flavours, I think it might be tough for her.
So, 3 completely different approaches to cooking Chinese takeaway. And today, we're going to find out which is the best.
I'm here in Chinatown, just off London's bustling Piccadilly Circus. The heart of the Chinese community is here, so where better to base our contest?
Tom Kerridge will be judging our 3 teams.
Today, I am looking for the chefs to bring their A game, cook their hearts out, and win my soul over.
Did you not just pour it in, Lisa? It's here.
The twins, Lisa and Helen, have travelled from Manchester.
You don't know where you stand until you see your competitor, you know?
George has come from Oxford.
你再去那里拿点洋葱哦，那个长长的那个。
And Annie has arrived from Bristol. The chefs will battle it out in 3 tasks across one day to help us decide who makes the best Chinese takeaway.
The average takeaway takes less than 40 minutes to arrive at our door. Speed is a very important part of any takeaway. So for our first task, we want to see how quickly our chefs can make our orders and get it perfect every time. The first team to serve and bag up all of their orders wins this task. But please remember, the last dish must be as good as the first. Chefs, you are open for business.
All right, so we get the stuff. Get one of these. 绝对不能胡来。
Each team has 7 orders to complete.
It's a race to finish first, but fast food shouldn't mean bad food. We want to check that the quality of the food is still really high, even though they're pushing through those orders.
Tom will be helped in judging by Chinese food writer and chef Ching Hee Huang.
In a race situation, the tendency is that they're going to rush things and they might cut corners, so they might not slice or dice things properly. But the key to a great Chinese dish is getting the prep right. For the takeaway, you have to have everything ready, and then you wok and roll.
Wok and roll. I love that.
First thing you're going to do is make the spring roll. Yeah, I'm going to make the second thing. I'm going to make the fried rice. I'm going to chop. Okay.
All 3 teams will be cooking spring rolls, a chicken dish, and a stir-fry.
Lise, how you doing? Doing good. Shall I ask for the first order? I don't know whether I've got everything, but we'll start for now. Okay, order.
Order 1. Please can I get 1 chicken, 1 beef, and 2 egg fried rice?
Certainly.
Helen and Lisa have chosen a surprising strategy.
They've called for their first order, even though they haven't finished prepping. And I think that gives them a bit of a head start.
The twins are making 2 Hong Kong Cantonese dishes we are familiar with here in Britain.
Firecracker chicken!
A spicy version of chicken with cashew nuts.
That's really good. That's really spicy.
And a stir-fry of beef and peppers.
We'll throw it in. Throw it in. That's done. Enough. It's just basically, you know, we work really well. We almost like mind read each other, so it's all right.
Yeah.
Annie's spent over 30 years preparing food in Chinese restaurants, so she's sticking to the standard practice of chopping everything before she starts cooking.
You know, that's quite a clever way to approach the contest. So if all the elements are prepared first, all she needs to do as the orders come in is to marry them and season them, and it's straight out the door.
Come on, Mr. Yu. I need it now.
But George has decided to follow the twins' lead.
Open for business. May I serve? What would you like?
1 beef, 1 chicken,
Yes.
and 2 egg fried rice.
Okay.
On the double.
Oh, that means you want it quick. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Thank you. I don't
Thank
want
you.
double.
He's starting cooking before his prep's finished, so he'll need to chop on the go.
I'm doing flaming chicken now, and this is my grandma's special recipe. It's got 20 different chilies in there. Ooh, very spicy. This is a very spicy dish. I normally wear a mask when I do this dish. I can tell you want to try a little bit of this.
George's cooking is a fusion of dishes from all over Asia.
Been nervous, but you know that's what it's all about.
For his second dish, he's stir-frying his beef in a honey and black pepper sauce.
I got everything down to science.
First order.
But before the other teams have got their first order cooked, Annie's finished all her chopping.
What do you order? 1 chicken, 1 pork, and 2 egg fried rice.
Yes. Fire.
There's a lot to do to catch up with the others. Her chicken will be deep fried in batter, then tossed with whole Sichuan dried chilies in the wok. For her stir fry, Annie's cooking pork with star anise and jalapeno peppers. These are typical dishes you'd expect to eat in a home in northern China.
It could be a case of the tortoise and the hare. I mean, she's behind now, but she could steal the race.
I'll cut the peppers, No, Health. I can do it.
The twins were first to take an order, but it still isn't ready.
Yeah, I just need onion cubes. Can you do me onion cubes? I'll do onions cubed.
They're having to chop everything as they go along, which is slowing them down.
Very stressful. I don't want to be stressed. You can be very stressed, but I don't want to be stressed. Oh, God, I've cut myself. You all right? No, it's bleeding. Hels, I've got tissue here. I need a plaster, please. Tissue here. You're going to be all right, Hels? Okay. Oh, there's one other bit.
Annie's preparation is starting to work. She's already bagging her first order.
Hello, order number 1, please.
Annie was the last to start cooking, but the first to finish her order.
Wowee! So are you ready for order 2?
Yeah.
4 chicken, 1 pork, 3 egg fried rice.
I try my best.
She is so fast.
Lise? Yeah? Get me them 2 chickens pronto. Where are you up to, Lise? Are you doing like 1 by 1? Yep. Yeah.
Her first order is almost ready, but with chopping still to do, Lisa is struggling to keep up with Annie.
Order ready.
Right. So excited.
Roger that over. If I feel like making a big batch before the order comes in, I'm doing it that way instead. Otherwise, I'm going to be really behind. So I'm just going to make a big batch and make up all the food, then when the order comes, just scoop and go.
Lisa's new tactic may be risky.
So batch cooking is a great idea in essence. However, the temptation is to overcrowd the wok by adding too many ingredients at one time.
Have you got the cashew nuts in there as well? That's right at the end.
That the temperature falls as you add ingredients in. So the food is not going to sear and cook at a high temperature.
Kung Po chicken, scoop and go.
And the dish could end up being soggy.
Well, they're kicking our ass. I could pack this right now, but it's not quite there yet.
George's meticulous attention to detail is now holding him back. He's still on his first order.
George is kind of going quite slowly. I think in a speed test, George has forgot the speed element of it.
The reason I'm a bit slow because I want to make sure my dishes are up to standard. So, like when I fry the chicken, I got to make sure it's 90 seconds. I mean, I could have taken out slightly earlier, but, you know, sesame seed. If it's quality food, you got to wait, you know?
Annie is still in the lead, over halfway through her orders.
Table 3, order ready?
Annie is motoring ahead. This is clearly somebody who is completely in control of their kitchen, not talking to each other, just hammering those orders out, but each single one with precision.
You're ready?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Order ready.
Order ready.
Hels, what's the orders?
I need 2 chicken.
Coming right up.
Order ready.
The twins are gaining ground. Their batch cooking is helping them close the gap with Annie.
What's the order? What's the order? 1 firecracker, 1 beef. That's the last one. Just focus on that.
Both teams have just one more order to go. It's a race to the finish line.
Hey, stop. The cashew nuts in there.
Being speedy may win the race, but they must remember to not compromise on quality.
So close.
Please put it in the bag. Put it in the bag, put it in the bag. Just put the lid on. Order's ready. It's ready.
That's it? That's it? Everyone, please stop cooking. Lisa and Helen have done it.
Oh, well done, then.
That's relief, you know.
But the proof is in the pudding. Still got to taste it.
I need some water.
The twins have won on speed, but Tom and Ching need to check the quality hasn't suffered in the race to finish.
Well done, guys. Well done.
George cooked spring rolls, chicken with chilies, and stir-fried beef in a honey and black pepper sauce. But he was the slowest to serve his orders.
You seem to be cooking in a world of your own there, George. You were concentrating on the food, not on speed.
That's what I'm all about, you know?
I think the beef is lovely. I think the flavours are good.
Flavour's nice.
OK, and then the flaming chicken. Chicken comes apart beautifully.
Great colour.
Thank you.
That is fantastic. Thank you.
That is hot.
If only we cooked it all quicker.
I know, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Annie came a close second to the twins. She made spring rolls with Chinese wood ear mushrooms, stir-fried pork with star anise and jalapeno peppers, and deep-fried chicken with Sichuan dried chilies.
It looks wonderful, fresh ingredients.
Thank you.
Tastes great. The chicken is very good.
Lively and golden.
And then lastly, the spring roll. Oh, that is a great spring roll.
Thank you. Spot on.
That
Spot on.
is the best spring roll I have ever eaten.
Are you sure?
I am sure.
Okay, fine.
Well done, mate.
Try my best.
The twins finished first, but they will only win the task if their food's been cooked perfectly. They made stir-fried beef with peppers, spicy chicken with cashew nuts, and vegetable spring rolls.
There's quite a lot of pastry on that. Not a lot of vegetable. Should we get onto the beef?
Yep.
Okay, I've got to be honest, the box looks a little messy. As a takeaway, if I got this at my house, I'd feel a little disappointed. It feels a little bit rushed. Was it quite rushed towards the end to try and win?
A little bit.
A little bit,
Yeah.
OK. Feels a little bit messy, a little bit rushed. It's lovely. But I'm also looking for consistency.
Now it's a tough decision for the judges.
The twins may have finished first, but in the rush, the quality of their food has dropped. Annie, on the other hand, was close behind them on speed and has maintained her high quality to the very end. So for me, Annie's won this task.
Today, everything's amazing.
Under the circumstances, you know, I've done the best I could today.
She may have lost out on this task, but Lisa's cooking pedigree stretches all the way back to 1950s Hong Kong. Her grandma Lily Kwok set off from here with thousands of others to build a new life in post-war Britain. She's thought to be one of the first women in the UK to set up a Chinese restaurant in Middleton, Greater Manchester.
So is this where your grandmother's original restaurant was?
Yes, it was. But it's now been demolished.
Wow.
But the Warwick Mill's still here.
So that would have been overlooking your grandmother as she built up her business?
Yes.
Lily's original terrace restaurant has been long lost.
But the area's traditional red brick industrial heritage still looms large.
It was very similar to something, you know, like this kind of house.
Do you think they will have ever seen a Chinese person?
No, she was the only Chinese person, I think, in the whole village. And it was such a culture shock. And in those days, there'd be loads of people standing and sitting on the street corners, children playing around, and they'd be watching her every move. And they'd be like, oh, God, there's that Japanese lady. She's going to poison us.
Oh, my God. It's hard to imagine what it must have been like leaving somewhere like Hong Kong with all the familiar sights and smells and sounds to come and set up a new life somewhere like this. It must have been such a culture shock. Lily left Hong Kong on a ship bound for Britain in 1953. It was a 10,000-mile journey. How long was the trip from Hong Kong to the UK?
35 days.
35 days.
It was the P&O SS Canton that she took. This is my grandmother on the ship. She did benefit from the journey because it stopped off in India and she learnt about the spices in India. It travelled to Singapore and she picked up the laksa curry recipe there and learnt about coconut being infused into a curry. So by the time she'd got to the UK, she'd created her very own Lily Kwok's chicken curry.
So that's where she learnt that recipe,
yeah.
on the ship?
On the ship.
To England?
Yeah.
Lily opened her first restaurant in 1959 to a hostile reception.
But initially, everybody boycotted the restaurant.
So how did she overcome the problem?
She actually hired a lady called Mavis, who knew the whole town. So my grandmother, being quite entrepreneurial, she thought, I'm going to hire Mavis, win her over and then win the town over. And one of the dishes that people really raved about was her curry.
The Lung Fung Cafe grew in popularity, partly because Lily opened all hours, catering to the post-pub crowd in the 1960s. I've tracked down original customers Brian, John and Danny to find out why it was such a hit.
We were in bands at the time, and we'd get back midnight, 12:30, something like that. We'd go to Lily's.
Do you remember what you had the first time you tasted it?
Chips and curry. That was really...
That's very authentically Chinese.
That was really exotic, that, for me, believe you me.
Really?
Curry, oh.
It made a hell of a difference to chips.
It was just something different, like everything was in the 60s. We were breaking free. We finally had a bit of money to spend on what clothes we wanted to wear, what music we wanted to listen to, and what food we wanted to eat.
Chinese food had become hip, but was yet to reach the masses. Today, Chinese has become so familiar that one survey found that 94% of the population has tried it. At the heart of Chinese cooking is a really clever blend of exotic Eastern spices. But do our cooks know their Szechuan peppercorns from their star anise? Our Chinese connoisseur and specialist judge, Qing-Hee Huang, intends to find out.
I've got a spice test for you now, and I want to test your knowledge and what you think is the perfect Chinese five-spice.
Five-spice is said to be rooted in Chinese yin and yang philosophy, achieving a perfect balance of sweet and savoury flavours. It's the base seasoning for dishes from spare ribs to Peking duck, so getting it right is crucial.
Up for the challenge? Away you go.
Five-spice is usually bought already blended, so the chefs may find choosing the correct spices tricky.
They should be using star anise, Sichuan pepper, cloves, cinnamon, and fennel. George is adding some ground licorice root. He's picked up dry tangerine peel as well.
George came last in the speed test, so to catch up, he'll need to do well in this round.
I like to make mine slightly spicy, but for this, I'll try to make it as traditional as possible.
It's got to be in a good balance, otherwise the flavour's going to be off. Oh, and he's also picked up some black cardamom.
Chinese black cardamom looks very similar to nutmeg, which is often added to the 5-spice mix, but it has a much more potent flavour.
Lisa's taking her time. She's checking all the ingredients. She's smelling every single product to make sure that there aren't any curveballs in there.
Lisa didn't win the speed test because she cut corners, so now she really can't afford to make a mistake.
A really good Chinese 5-spice will be ground really fine. It's not easy using a pestle mortar when you've got whole spices.
This big one just won't break.
Lisa's toasting the ingredients. And that's good because you want to release the aromas of those spices.
First up to be judged is George.
Okay, George, you're up.
Here's my
So
5-spice.
this is your 5-spice.
Yes.
Now, let's have a smell. Oh, I can smell some interesting notes there.
My main scent is more cinnamony and one nutmeg.
Nutmeg?
Wow, what's wrong with that?
You sure it was a nutmeg?
Yeah, the big one, the around the biggest spice you have in the stand, yeah.
Chinese black cardamom.
Look, we have... Okay, fine.
To test the balance and flavour of the 5-spice blend,
Put that in.
Ching is coating pork ribs in the mix and then wok frying them.
Nice and golden.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
It's okay?
That black cardamom is really quite strong. I think you pushed it a little over the edge. Missed the mark. Sorry.
Next up is Annie.
Okay, Annie.
Hi, 你好.
So, this is it.
May I make the 5 spicy?
This is your spice?
Yes.
Smells very good. I can smell cumin, though.
Yeah, got a cumin.
Where's your cloves?
For me, very local is common.
So you put cumin instead of
Yes.
cloves?
Yes.
Let's taste it.
Yummy, yummy.
I have to say, with the ground cumin cooked, there's a nice, delicate balance. It's well-rounded, but it didn't have punch, and it didn't have cloves in it. Smells good.
Thanks, Ching.
So what have you got in there?
Okay, I've got star anise.
Yeah.
I've got cinnamon bark. I've
Yeah.
got Sichuan pepper, fennel seeds, and a little bit of cloves, and also toasted a little bit as well.
You did. I saw you,
Yeah.
and I saw a good pound. You know, this is pretty fine.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Right. Let's go. Pretty good.
Thank you.
You can taste all those notes. It's really ground fine. There's no grit. It's beautiful balance.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate
Well
that.
done.
Now Ching must decide on a winner.
So, the Chinese chef that has mastered Chinese 5-spice is Lisa. Well done.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Back in the late 50s and early 60s, Chinatown was the place to come for the rich and famous to get a taste of the new hip cuisine. But for most ordinary people, it was still an alien concept.
So, how did Chinese food go mass market and spread to all the corners of Britain?
To find out, I'm off to the seaside.
Must be nice to have as much energy as this, and just as nice to have none at all.
Back in the 50s, new welfare laws gave the majority of workers a paid holiday, and the nation flocked to the coast for their summer break.
And if you get too hot, well, the remedy is right beside you.
It was here by the sea that many people got their first taste of China thanks to one man. Billy Butlin was the ultimate showman and started serving Chinese food in his holiday camps from 1958.
Hello! Morning, campers. Do come in.
I'm treating some former redcoats to vintage archive reels from the 1960s.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we have some very special archive footage of Butlins back in the day. Run VT. Wow, look at that.
They've introduced Chinese food and they had a dedicated Chinese restaurant.
It must have seemed so exotic.
It was totally alien. It was like walking into a totally different world. All the staff were Chinese and many people had never met the Chinese people.
They were working class families, so they hadn't experienced anything like this before.
If they couldn't afford to go abroad, Billy Butlin brought it to them.
Exactly.
Because it was like a holiday within a holiday.
The food wasn't the only novelty. Eating it was a whole new world too.
Use chopsticks. It's easy. Or so they told these holidaymakers at a Clacton holiday camp. They've entered a Chinese eating competition because they've never tasted Chinese food before. Nobody realized they'd have to do it the hard way.
Oh, I know that feeling. You could see it on a regular basis, flying over people's shoulders or skidding across the table.
Oh, forget the chopsticks then. He's found the chop.
At their peak, the holiday camps attracted more than 1 million guests in a single summer. One of the former managers, Stuart, believes that many campers took home a newfound taste for Chinese food.
People who perhaps had refrained from using a Chinese restaurant in their hometowns may well have, because they were at Butlin's, said, hey, why not? You know?
So they tried it at Butlin's, loved it, and then when they went home...
And yes, I've been to Butlin's, I've had Chinese food. Oh, well, we'll go again, shall we?
So it just spread, all of those thousands of people who went to Butlin's.
I think it's what they call a symbiotic relationship. The Chinese help Butlin's and Butlin's certainly help the Chinese.
Since those pioneering early days, Chinese food has taken off on a massive scale. Back in Chinatown for the final task, we want our chefs to look to the future and reinvent the Chinese takeaway. Our chefs need to prepare 2 totally original dishes in less than an hour.
This test is about something new. I'm looking for inspiration and innovation.
Each team will be judged on taste and creativity, and it must all be served up within 45 minutes. Chefs, you have 45 minutes to show us how you would reinvent the classic Chinese takeaway. Get cooking!
Yes!
Go for it. The heat is on in more ways than one.
Come on, quick.
We've got 3 different types of Chinese chefs here.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got the girls that are cooking
British Cantonese food that people are comfortable with here in the UK.
food that I've grown up with.
Absolutely.
And we've got George who's cooking fusion.
He's modern, he's forward-thinking, as long as it tastes good. That's George.
Okay, and then Annie.
Annie, she's old school Beijing, Sichuan. She's like traditional Chinese classical cooking.
I try my best to do traditional Chinese food. I take a risk because English people don't like Chinese.
Annie came out on top in the first speed task. Tonight, she's cooking Sichuan pepper mala beef.
Mala beef.
Sichuan mala beef. Lovely. Well, the smell's amazing.
Mala broth is made with Sichuan chilies and peppercorns. It's the main speciality of the Sichuan region, and it's mouth-numbingly spicy.
We are special the oils, 24 herbs make them.
Originally used to flavor cheaper meats, it's now one of the most popular sauces in China.
Chinese ear.
Woodier mushroom.
Yeah,
nice and crunchy.
Yes, crunchy. But because it's very hot, everything
To
down,
calm.
no oil.
So it's not just all fire and heat.
No, good.
So you all about yin and yang, balance.
Yes.
What have you got over there? Is that ham?
Chinese ham.
It looks like spam.
Yeah, it's nice, tasty.
That is not something you'll see on your average takeaway.
When you eat food nowadays, you want a bit of adventure, you want a bit of twist.
So far, Maverick George has impressed the judges with his creative cooking, but he's yet to win a round. So he's hoping to steal this task with a surprise.
Every item on the dish will be nice and round.
His ping pong chicken is a combination of melon, sweet potato and chicken, all disguised as identical-sized balls.
Have you ever eaten a chicken dish, the sides are round? I don't think so. I certainly haven't eaten any dishes in the world. Everything's round.
Keep time. Right, is that enough garlic for you, missus? Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect, right? Boss, thanks. Okay. We're going to use some ingredients that are not traditionally used in Chinese cooking.
The twins' new dish is inspired by Mexico. They're making burritos.
Chinese burrito, because it definitely is something new.
Lisa lost the speed task, but now she's won the spice round, she could win the contest if she doesn't panic. She's using her winning 5-spice blend to give the dish a Chinese twist.
Just to give it a little bit of fusion between Mexican and Chinese.
Chefs, you have 20 minutes left. 20 minutes remaining.
Annie is also using unconventional ingredients. For her second dish, she's combining quail's eggs and chicken with something you wouldn't expect to find on a Chinese menu.
What's this one?
Blueberry with chicken.
Blueberries.
Blueberries?
Do you have blueberries? You use blueberries in Chinese cooking?
Not like this.
I could try that only last week back. I see I do it.
So this will be a new thing for you as
that
well?
That would be totally new, yeah.
It could be a risky strategy. Annie won the speed task, but her unconventional spice blend let her down. She can't afford to mess up this round if she's going to win the contest.
Well, we're going to use sweet potato, but it's actually a superfood with lots of beta-carotene, OK? We're going to turn that into a wonton.
For the twins' second dish, they're putting a nutritious spin on a Chinese classic.
Is that sweet potato not normally used in a lot of Chinese cooking?
It's not used at all.
So how's that being involved with Chinese cookery?
Well, because the sweet potato is actually sweet, you will have the little sweetness and a little bit of sour.
And where's the sour come from?
A bit of lime.
Right,
so lime is never used in Chinese cooking either.
OK, girls, well, I'll let you crack on.
Thank you.
OK.
George is also serving dumplings for his next dish, filled with marinated chicken thigh.
Wow, that's beautiful. Perfect. One side curry, one side standard northern dumpling, and in the middle is mixed with Italian mozzarella cheese.
No way.
Oh, really? Yeah. I like the sound of that.
This is his last chance to catch up and impress the judges.
I think we might have a problem. My dumpling's kind of sticking to the bottom. Yeah, it's a disaster. Yeah, this.
George hasn't used enough oil in the pan to prevent the pastry from sticking.
水煮，直接拿开水煮。没有，已经下面粘住了。Yeah. It's so disappointing.
So we've got stock dumplings.
Yeah. We'll have to make another one.
You're doing it all again?
Yeah.
You're going to have enough time?
Maybe not, but I will do all I can because it's not how often you fall down, it's how you get up.
Good luck, George. Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Chefs, you have 10 minutes left.
10 minutes? Oh, boy.
We're a little bit behind how I want to be. You need to start assembling the burritos now. Am I assembling? Yeah. Just do 5 of each burrito. Am I putting rice in it? Yeah. Pea first, then the rice.
All of their dishes must be cooked and served up in the allotted time if they're going to stand a chance of winning the contest.
No, this is wrong.
Whilst the others are racing to finish,
Hells, don't cook them.
George is still meticulously testing the core temperature of his sweet potato balls.
Let's step it up this one.
How much time have we got left?
Chefs, you have 5 minutes left.
5 minutes. 5 minutes, Lise. Give me a heart attack.
How long?
5 whole minutes.
It's not 5 minutes, is it?
I don't want to leave, darling.
You need to just rap like crazy now. I'm cramping up, Lise.
They are really going for it.
No, too much. Next, it's gonna ruin it. Next. Right. I am shatterooned.
Ready? Now. You
do this for me. Do the last one. No, just do that one.
With just seconds remaining, George has managed to remake his dumplings, but they still need to be pan-fried.
Ready?
I haven't been this stressed in a long time. I need to fry this for another 2 minutes.
Chefs, your time is up.
Grease-proof first. I've got last one.
Please turn off your woks.
No way.
Finished. Where's the chicken? Oh, yeah, done. OK, that's fine. Finished.
Please put anything down.
OK, George, how did it go?
To be honest, it didn't go as well as I planned.
All right, well, let's have a little look.
For his reinvention of the classic Chinese takeaway, George has made ping-pong chicken and rainbow pan-fried dumplings.
The flavours in the side of that,
yeah,
amazing.
Boom. Oh, wow.
I just wish you got it crispy.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Ping-pong chicken.
It looks like a dish out of the 1950s.
I thought, you know what? Get them guessing. And my inspiration is from the movie Forrest Gump. Life's like a box of chocolate. You don't know what you're going to get. Yeah. You bite into it, you don't know if that's a chicken ball yet until you taste it, or is that the sweet potato mashed up with flavored deep fry, or is that a good old, melon?
I love the idea. I love how it looks. I think it looks fantastic.
Okay.
My only concern is I'm not sure that they all go
Come together.
True.
Annie has cooked Sichuan pepper mala beef and Chinese ham with chicken, blueberries and quail eggs.
At first, I don't think it works. It messes with my mind. It makes me go, this isn't right. But actually, as the blueberry breaks down, that's where you get that natural sweetness.
Unusual, but I like it.
Thank you. This one is a Sichuan beef broth.
Okay.
With the beef and a mixed ham, Chinese ham.
Chinese ham is actually spam.
Spam.
As a child, this is what I used to have all the time.
Yeah.
But it was called spam, not Chinese ham. But, I never did it in a Chinese sauce. So this is quite interesting for me.
What do you think?
I think it's amazing. I've had spam in lots of ways, but never like that before. And that spice, that flavour that comes through, I think it's fantastic.
That Sichuan flavour,
yeah,
that is really outstanding. It's spicy, but I can also taste all the other flavours.
I really like it. Szechuan spam, amazing.
Lisa's hoping to impress the judges with Chinese chicken burritos and sweet potato wontons.
What have we got here? Wonton, sweet potato. That is surprisingly great.
Yeah.
Chinese flavours come through really nicely. The wonton's very crispy. Definitely new. Well done, mate. And then here.
This is the hot numbing chicken Chinese burrito with a pea puree.
That for me is great tasting, but it does feel a little bit like a lunchtime sandwich kind of dish. Not really something I'd associate as Chinese takeaway.
It is takeaway, but whether it's Chinese takeaway...
Well done, mate.
Well done.
Come on, let's move on.
It's been an incredible
incredible day and night of cooking here in Chinatown. But were the twins' burritos, George's ping pong balls, or Annie's blueberries a step too far in the final round? Tom and Shing will now have to decide the overall winner.
There was a lot of craziness coming from Annie.
Spam, OK?
Spam, yes.
Chinese ham.
ham.
Wow. Flavour, flavour, flavour. Loads of flavours. It didn't taste like Chinese food I'd had before.
It is mind-blowingly good.
Now, Lisa's cooking, the sweet potato wonton, was absolutely stunning. It wowed me. I thought it was fantastic.
You're right. I agree with you.
But then came those burritos. It just felt a little bit like a sandwich that tasted a bit Chinesey.
That burrito wasn't standout.
Now, George's cooking was really interesting. There just wasn't very much of it. If we were looking at just somebody who cooks a couple of dishes full of flavour, George is right up there with some of the best food I've actually eaten. But I don't think he stood up to the pressures of the competition.
I have to agree with you there.
So that leaves us with the decision of who's going to win. Guys, the food today has been outstanding, and this has been a really tough decision for me and Ching. Lisa, your wonton at the end blew my mind. Those burritos, though, still need a bit of convincing, I think. George, 2 of your dishes today, world class, but on the whole, crumbled around the edges. Annie, your food, full of amazing flavours, loads of which I hadn't even seen or experienced before. Both of us seriously impressed, but the best takeaway on today's performance is Annie. Well done, girl.
Thank you very much. Oh, today, special for me, I'm a winner. It's #1. It's very surprised and very, very happy. Thank you very much.
Mate,
I
well
never think
done.
about
Incredible
today, I
flavours.
just thank you so much.
Well-
You are giving me my dream is winner.
Welcome.
Fast food doesn't need to be bad food or boring food. For me, Annie's cooking is a perfect demonstration of that. Exciting flavours, cooked fast. She really deserved to win.